So storytelling is not just essential to grow. It is vital for humanity to evolve. Once upon a time, in heaven, God was having a conversation with a few angels about the state of a distant planet called Earth. The general idea was to send a stronger dose of empathy and technological discoveries to its highly unevolved species. So one of the angels, Albert, came up with a plan of sending a few souls who were equipped with extraordinary intelligence. The mission was not only to empower human potential by bringing technological progress, but to transform capitalistic society into a more human and compassionate environment. So God gave the angel full responsibility, and the experiment started with some good premises. Most of these souls, once human, they gravitated to a valley north of San Francisco with constructive and positive entrepreneurial spirit. They founded and grew companies with inspirational names like Amazon, Meta, Tesla, Palantir, Robinhood, and the social capital. They looked like nerds, and their ambition was not just focused on making money, but on building a more connected, sustainable, and inclusive society. For a while, it worked. Their companies grew to become global giants, and they became more famous than rock stars and more revered than politicians. But with fame came insecurity. So they started hiring trainers to pump up their bodies. They replaced their wives with young and sexy lovers. And they replaced their friends with people that they paid. You see, power and fame are a powerful aphrodisiac, and they separate you from life. So what was once a creative and disruptive energy from these glorious entrepreneurs became a controlling and defensive state of mind. So they desperately needed to defend their status. So they came up to the conclusion that the best way to do it was to gain access to the ability of deciding and writing the rules of the game. So after a carefully master plan, with the help of the money people from the other side of the coast, and after having backed a popular voice as their president, who had become an avatar for people's anger, they challenged a government that had grown old, weak, and disconnected from its people. So the journey of control and accumulation began not by influencing the government, but by becoming the government. And the objective was achieved with a clear victory. But they lost control of a president who realized that in order to pursue his revengeful agenda, he did not need them anymore on his side. And the result was a growing loss of confidence and trust in society. So with all this uncertainty, democracy and capitalism had no chance of survival. Their legacy became the destruction of the system that had made them successful. So the angel Albert returned to heaven embarrassed, with a sense of guilt for the perceived failure of the experiment. He consulted with a new business angel called Steve to present a report to God which ended with the belief that planet Earth was in a free will zone. The fate of humanity relied upon his moral judgment, which was constantly drowned by short-term thinking. God listened carefully to the report and replied that the experiment to him had only just begun. He explained to Albert and Steve that when you observe life on planet Earth from above, you realize that we're all made of stardust. Time is a function of perspective, and evolution is not a straight line. Ownership, fame, and power are temporary fictions. Evil is the lack of understanding that we're all one. So humankind should take responsibility, find new and younger voices, and evolve through a peaceful and resilient revolution, a revolution that does not take sides, a revolution that unites. The message to spread was that capitalism can only survive when competition is perfectly balanced with collaboration. Politicians should decide and write the rules based on the will and needs of the people and rely more on wisdom than dogma. And no single religious tradition should monopolize the truth, because enlightenment starts within the individual. The two angels were so impressed. So Steve raised his hand and asked him, "My Lord, how can I transfer in the most effective ways these teachings?" God smiled, paused for a few seconds, and answered, "Storytelling, my dear. And one last thing, make sure that Apple starts releasing disruptive products before I'm forced to send you to planet Earth again."